Okay, so we are starting with a meeting. The meeting is titled the Sales Training for non-tutor. And yours truly, Caleb, I'm the one taking this very brief training. Within the next 15 minutes, we should be out of here.
Okay.
All right. So about this training, the sole purpose of this meeting is to equip the tutors that we have on the platform. There are actually, as at yesterday, they were getting to over 1,000 tutors that have registered on the platform, but you are our pioneers. So we want to focus on you guys. When we get it right, we are sure to have good reviews, and probably we can even make some of them to have brief sessions with you guys. You can give reviews and you can give them tips about how to get things right when they start off on the platform. So this training basically is to equip you guys in order to maximize the opportunities that we have that will be generating for you in terms of the leads of students. Now, what this means is that the initial trial that we had for the platform at the beta stage of the platform, we realized that we generated a lot of leads for our tutors, but what happened is that they were not able to convert the leads into students. And we were following keenly and we realized that they were making some very basic sales mistakes. So we thought it wise that if that's the case, then it is important that we just give you a very brief sales training. Now, our targets for this sales training is that we are targeting at least a 20% conversion rate for every 10 leads or 5. If we give you 5 students for your 30 minutes trial, we expect that at least one of them should stay on the platform. If you have more than that, praise God, we appreciate. And also for your own benefit. I understand that you are already aware of the financial ratio. So we are keeping just 15% and you are keeping over 80% of whatever is going into this. So it is really for your benefit to make sure that at the end of the day, we get a lot of students on the platform. It's very, very important. So for every 5 students that we generate for you to have trial classes with, we expect after this training that you should be able to keep at least 1. For every 10, you should keep at least 2. For every 15, you should keep at least 3. Basically, that is how the ratio works. So we are going straight to the training. I titled this column the non-negotiables. Fortunately for you guys, you have all met this particular criteria. For example, Saga, I took Saga through a whole lot of hassle just to get some of this right. He actually gave me a very nice one at the end of the day, and I was really impressed because some of them, some of the people who started, when I asked them to make the corrections, they got angry. Some of them left the platform. Some of them never got back. But it was actually for our own good. So the non-negotiables for which we would take any tutor out of the platform without hesitation is that you must have a very high quality profile picture. You know, this is basically because this is your face, the face of your business on the platform. Any parents that will want to take you for their word, or any corporate-minded person that is coming there to take a teacher, the first thing they are going to look at is not your description, is not your video. They are going to, first of all, see the face behind the whole description. If it doesn't look good, they are gone. They will not spend a minute, they will not spend an hour, they will not spend their cash. So it's very, very important that we have very good profile pictures. The second one is that we should have very good quality introductory videos, at least maximum 2 minutes, minimum 2 minutes, maximum 3 minutes. And basically out of that, we should use about 20 seconds to talk about yourself, 20, 30 seconds to talk about yourself. And the rest of the time, we expect it to maximize it and follow the tricks that we'll be showing you. But basically, you would have to focus on the benefits in your introductory video, because if I'm going to the mall, I'm going there to buy something that satisfies me, not what satisfies you. At the end of the day, if I'm going to spend cash, I have to spend the cash and be sure that whatever I'm getting from it is meeting the reason why I'm going to buy the thing. So the video introduction, as much as we want you to talk about yourself, it is also important to focus on what the person that is coming to the platform is going to get. That is basically the fundamentals of introducing yourself. It is the highest sales pitch in business that you can ever offer to anyone. So when somebody is coming to buy, they want to buy the thing, assuring themselves that whatever they are coming to buy is for their benefit, not your benefit. Are we good? That is why there are discounts. That is why there are discount sales and stuff like that. People want to buy, they want to buy value. So you need to put the value out there. And one of the ways you can put value out there is to tell people what they are coming for, what they want to buy, what they want to hear. If you don't give that to them, they will not spend. Okay. So we are going straight into the sales speech. I titled it our sales speech. Now, the sales speech is in two forms. Now, this is the meat of what we are doing, or this is the essence of the entire training, the two folds. The first one is what I titled the do's of the 30 minutes trial. How to nail your trial session, the do's. It's very, very, very important. When you nail this, trust me, there is nothing within this category that you will not be able to nail at the end of the day. So it's very, very important that we get it right. So the first do is that before you get on any 30 minutes trial session with any student or parent, please, just as you guys are looking smart, make sure you look smart on that video. We've seen videos of people come online, they are coming to teach, and the background is messed up. You know, they look unkempt, the ladies, their hairs look all messed up. That is not a good selling thing. You don't sell your brand like that. People come online and they see you and they're like, I'm not coming back again. I'm not going to spend my cash with a lady or with a guy looking like that. You know, no matter how skilled you are, no matter how brilliant you are, nobody wants to spend money on a brand that looks so bad. Okay, so you should look good, you should look smart, you should look presentable, and you are sure that at least the people are going to carry the first impression that at least whoever they want or they are paying for is very good. Now, the second thing is that you have to be very brief to introduce yourself. Don't use the entire 30 minutes talking about yourself. That is bad business, okay? It's bad business. Imagine that you go for a corporate meeting. You are going to, let's say, buy a product at the supermarket. And when you get there, all the salesperson, the representative is talking there is about how they look, the swag, you know, that's messed up. I'm just going to turn and go and buy bread from the next customer. I won't even waste 2 minutes with you. So we expect that within the 30 minutes, you can just at most use 1 minute, briefly talk about yourself, introduce yourself, what you do, maybe put a couple of your experiences on board, maybe certifications and all of that. But that should be very brief. Within 1 minute, 2 minutes, that should be done at most. You shouldn't spend too much time on that. The next, which is I think one of the most crucial points of the how to nail that sales speech, the 30-minute sales speech, is that you have to do a lot of listening with whoever you are going to be holding that 30 minutes with. So I would advise that at least we should spend 10, 15 minutes listening to them. Listening to them. It is very, very important. As a sales professional, when I go out there to take clients, to get sales leads, I don't go about trying to sell my product to the people. When you do that, people, they are turned off. It never works. It never works in sales. So I don't expect us to practice that in our 30 minutes pitch. It doesn't work. You are pitching yourself, you are pitching your brand. So avoid talking about yourself. Spend at least 10, 15 minutes to listening to whoever is coming, if it is a student, if it's a parent. Now, within this minute, what you are going to be doing is that you are going to ask them questions. You take notes of things, ask them why they are on the platform, why are they there? For example, you want to hear them talk about if they are going to write an exam, what have been their challenges? What have been their challenges in the past? Things that didn't work for them. As students, for example, if you are a math teacher, you know, try and pay attention if they've had challenges with algebra, if they've had challenges with trigonometry. If it's an English student or somebody who is going to write, then you want to hear them talk about things like maybe their essay writing, their grammar, and all of that. This is very, very important. Spend a lot of time. Allow them to be the talkatives within the next 10, 15 minutes, listening to them. Listen to what their challenges are, the reason for which they want to pay for your service. that 30 minutes is very, very crucial. So that 15 minutes or 20 minutes, listening to them, pay attention to them, let them talk, let them just empty their frustrations and give them the benefit of the doubt. Even if they are beginning to talk too much, you don't worry. The most important thing is that at the end of the day, you want to make them feel appreciated and acknowledged that you are really there for them. Okay, everybody wants to spend money on or spend time with people that are there for them. And that is what I want us to do with this 30-minute speech. The next point is that we have to be very empathetic. Okay, we need to be very empathetic while listening to them. Put yourself in their shoes. For example, when I was growing up, I had a lot of struggle with learning. I had a bit of learning disorder, and it's unfortunate. Africa, we don't our side, the Western Africa, we don't have a lot of very brilliant teachers back then. Of course, there were brilliant teachers as in terms of academia, but when it comes to being empathetic with students, we didn't have that. They were going to lash the hell out of you for getting 2/10. They'll beat the life out of you. Next time, you don't even want to come to the class. Okay, that is what was going on. Mm-hmm. So I had a lot of struggle and I had learning disorders. And I didn't have anybody that was empathetic enough to listen to me and to study my learning pattern. Fortunately for me, I had to grow and learn how to correct this thing myself. And today, it is easy for me to learn. But back then, I didn't have that. So when you get the opportunity with the students, be empathetic. Don't assume that you can solve their problems or the challenges that they are bringing to you without listening to them. Don't do it. It's bad. It's bad for business. Be empathetic, listen to them, put yourself in their shoes. What are their challenges? If the person is going to write an exam, what is that person's greatest fear in going to write the exams? If possible, offer them encouragement. Okay, this is very, very important. Be empathetic. The next thing is that once you understand what they need, once you have listened to them, once you have shown that empathy, then try to put those things back into your own words. Try to put the challenges that they have expressed to you, try to put them back in your own words and repeat it back to them. Now, what this does is that it is going to create a connection. It is going to create a connection. Now, the connection here, what I mean is that if in relaying those things back to them in your own words, if you don't get any point, or if you say something that didn't resonate with what they are telling you, they will quickly point it out to you that, oh, no, this is not a challenge. I don't have a problem with this. Okay? But if you don't do that, what will happen is that you are going to assume, per the points that you have written in listening to them, you are going to assume that you've captured everything that they are complaining about in your own terms, only to come back with a proposal or a solution that doesn't work with them, that doesn't resonate with them. So it is very important. Repeat whatever challenge that you have listened to, repeat it back to them in your own words. When you do that and you get something wrong, they'll quickly correct you. One of the ways I do that is that anytime in my sales pitch, whether to banks, corporate people, or the everyday person, I ask them, okay, if I'm saying I want to subscribe you for, let's say, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months of our news, our newsletters. And you've mentioned that you have challenges converting people, leads, you have challenges doing this. Am I correct? Then they will say, yes, you are correct. If what I'm saying is wrong, they are going to quickly correct me. They say, no, I don't have problem with, let's say, generating leads. I have problems with, let's say, advertising, or I have problem putting my budget together. Then you quickly note it down and make your corrections. It is very, very, very important. Then the next point is that you need to tell them, this is the point that you need to show your skill set. This is the point that you need to give them what you are capable of quickly. Of course, you might not be able to put a curriculum together quickly in that 30 minutes, but you should have a very smart idea about how you are going to solve the challenge that they have given you. For example, if, let's say, if you are a math teacher, I'm using Saga as an example. Saga is a very brilliant mathematician. So I'm using him as an example here. If I come to Saga with a problem in algebra, or I have a trigonometry problem, or I have a problem with calculus, there are several ways by which, for example, a simple equation, we can come to a solution on that. So one of the ways that you can teach this aspect is that you express that, okay, maybe the teacher that has been handling them, they've been going to it using points A and B, but you realize that it doesn't work for them. So what you are going to do is that you are going to use point B to C, or point D to E, or point E to F. You are going to use this route, and these are some of the things you are going to introduce. to make the learning easier for them. If you realize that they've not been given assignments in the past, you are going to tell them that, okay, we'll do a lot of maybe essay writing, we'll do a lot of assignments, we'll do a bit of grammar, and we also make suggestions. If there are apps that can help them improve their work, you make those suggestions to them. My point is that this is the point to show your skill set, your experience, your professionalism. This is the point to prove to them that you are really on top of your game. Okay, this is the point. And this is going to be done maybe briefly in about 5 minutes. You are done with that. Okay, so you push these buttons quickly, then you can go back and now draw a curriculum afterwards. Now, the final part is that you have to book, after you have given them your idea, you ask them for clarifications. If they need any clarifications, you give them. Then the final part is that you propose, they book a session. Always do that. We call it in marketing or in sales, we call it the CTA, the call to action. It is very, very, very important. It looks very small, very tiny, but it is very important. For example, when you go to an ebook platform, you are going to buy an ebook. Imagine after scanning through the whole page and there is no small button there asking you to click here to buy. It makes the whole experience useless. Okay? Or you go to an e-commerce platform, you see a very beautiful hair, you want to buy a kilo, and there is no buy button there. You are going to be searching the platform for hours, and it's frustrating. Maybe the worst you can do is that you leave the platform without buying. Okay, so we call it the call to action, the CTA. So our CTA here is that you are going to ask them, or you are going to propose that they book a session. You're going to tell them, okay, if you are so far everything that we've shared, you feel that I'm the solution for you, please visit the platform, or you share your link with them, your link, your URL, or ask them to visit the platform and book a session immediately. Okay, this is very, very important. Now, the final part of this do's of our sales speech is to ask for what we call the contact point. Now, there are a lot of people in the sales funnel or in the sales process that they don't make decisions immediately. Okay, it's just like window shopping. You pass by, you look at the things, and you plan. Okay, I'll come back. Now, between the purchasing, the viewing process and the purchasing decision, there is what we call the lag period. Now, what happens within the lag period is that people change their mind. They change their mind. Maybe they see other competitors or they see competing platforms. They change their mind to have maybe one-on-one, face-to-face, or let's say in-person classes, or they change their mind at all not to go ahead. Okay, so now if you take their contact, what this does is that it will allow you for a follow-up. You can either take their email address or you can take their WhatsApp number. So you follow up later on just to check up on them if they are still interested in the project. Okay, this is very important. Let us not overlook it. It closes the deal as nothing else. Okay, that is one of the reasons you see all those emails. Anytime you open your Gmail, you see so many newsletters. One of the ways they do that is because they collect your contact, sometimes intentionally by signing up, or just by visiting the page, they take your email. By that small button you click there, they'll ask you accept cookies. When you do that, they take your details and they follow up. Okay, so these are the do's. These are the do's of our sales of NotTutor platform. When you stick to these things, I can promise you that the 20% conversion rate, you are probably even going to hit above that. Because there are a lot of platforms that don't do this, but I'm giving you these tips as a professional salesperson. It always works. Of course, there are people that will not convert simply because, first of all, maybe they don't have the money, or two, they are not interested. You leave them. But the few that we can do, the potentials that are there, we need to grab them. It is very, very important. Now, the last part, the second part of the sales pitch is what I call the don'ts. Now, the don'ts of our project, they are just two. Okay, for now, there are so many of them, but I just narrowed them down to 2 points. The first don't is that don't think of the trial lesson as a lesson. Don't do it. It is not a lesson. It is a time of acquaintance. It is a time to know the person. It is a time to hear the story of the person now. It is a time to be empathetic. Don't treat it as a lesson. Now, one of the problems we had with our initial test market is that they go on with the 30 minutes and all they do is they are trying to prove their skills. People come and they take, like they are on the board trying to solve equations, trying to impress. No, it will scare the students away. So please, never do it. Don't treat your 30 minutes trial as a lesson. It is bad for business. Avoid it. The second thing is that make it a point not to actually teach during your trial lesson. You remember that 5 minutes I told you to sell yourself and sell a solution? Please sell a solution. Don't treat it as a lecture. Don't begin to lecture. Sell your solution and move on. Tell them what you can do for them and offer them solutions. Don't try to teach. Don't try to lecture. It is bad for business. Let's avoid it. Okay? It's very, very important. So finally, I call this my bonus points. It's very, very important. And I titled it the hot sauce. Please, after you are done with the 30 minutes and they go and you get your sign-ons and they come and you start lessons with them. At the end of every lesson, or maybe at the end of every lesson, because you can't tell if they will return, okay? It is assumed that they will return if you deliver a good work, but try as much as possible to propose that they make referrals. If they are impressed with your work, if they are familiar or if they've got acquainted to you, always ask them to refer you. Schools that they attend, to their corporate platforms on WhatsApp, their groups, social media handles, always ask them to refer you to friends who are in similar challenges or groups that they are in. It is very, very crucial. The second hot sauce is that always propose to them to connect with us and also connect with yourself on social media. They should connect to our social media handles and they should also connect to your personal social media handles. Now, what happens is that this gives you a leverage to access their friends, okay? For example, on LinkedIn, what happens? Anytime you connect with someone, they give you access to their seconds and their thirds. Now, the seconds are people that are directly connected to the person you are connecting to. Then the thirds are people that are connected to the people that you have connected to, okay? This is a very huge market. There are millions and millions of potential clients there. So always ask the people to connect with you so that you can have access to their second and their thirds. This is it's free business. So please don't lose sight of it. It is very important. Okay. So I'm bringing my sales speech to an end. My training session to an end. This is very brief. This is very straightforward. Please, I can assure you, as I've been into sales for the past 15 years, when you get this right, the possibility that your conversion rate will be high is very, very assured and very high. So please pay attention to them and let's work and let's go get some business.